Yo, 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 it's your boys, NEO, back again, episode 12, right after the Elimination Chamber and the Monday Night Raw after. Was it great? Meh, we'll leave that up to y'all. It's your boy, NeekCinco, and it's your boy...
It's E.
And you already know, we're NEOWrestling, where we come to drop our non-expert opinion on the things going on in wrestling. And we hope you share yours too in the comments and stuff like that. But, like I said, we're getting in the Elimination Chamber. We're getting into the Monday after. And normally I like to be in order. But today we're going to do things a little out of order today. Because Roman Reigns and CM Punk have been going at each other's throats. Eric, how you feeling about this kind of stuff right now, man? Let's just get right into it.
Well, I first want to say that we are on the road to Wrestlemania.
Yeah, it's spiced
I know
up.
that it is. I think people have been a bit underwhelmed by the first part of the road, but now that we're past Elimination Chamber, we still got seven or so weeks to go. But the number one hot topic and the number one match that I think most people are particularly excited for and that has that true Wrestlemania feel is Roman Reigns and CM Punk, and they certainly delivered once again with their second promo last night on Raw.
Now, I've seen people say that they think CM Punk has won both promos. And I'm like, no, Roman won the first one. What are we
No.
talking about? Roman won the first
Yeah.
promo battle.
Yeah.
But, man, I feel like these are guys who are really masters at the mic work, bro. Like, they don't even have to say nothing, like, over the top. They just know how to say the things that are impactful. And I feel like in the last couple of months, CM Punk has been doing a lot of that. Like Roman, we're never gonna get a lot of that on a consistent basis because the guy's a part timer, realistically, who shows up every now and then for a semi full time schedule. But dog, are they starting to get personal with these digs? Shoot. Now, I first want before I actually say what the dig is. I don't know if these guys are just selling the feud or if these guys are actually feeling the type of way. So Jay Uso apparently has said something about this, and Zilla Fatu has said something about this. So I think Jay is feeding the fuel because I don't really think Jay would think that this isn't something that's discussed prior to them going out there and saying these kind of things. Zilla Fatu, he might not be so in the loop and might actually think this is disrespectful. There's fans who think it's disrespectful. I'm confused with people because I don't know what you guys really want. You want them to dig, and then when they do dig, you're like, oh man, you went too far. Like,
Yeah.
Make up your mind. But basically, CM Punk got to the point where he told Roman Reigns, because Roman basically told him that you're only here because we wanted you for merch and some other minuscule shit and not to be champion. You just got lucky. And I could take that from you any moment. And CM Punk got really bothered by that and told the tribal chief to kiss my ass. I'm going to whoop your ass so bad because you ain't got nothing else that you're going to be dead and I'm going to put you in the ground next to your father. Oh. was I not expecting that when it happened? Boy, go ahead.
What was crazy about that too was the whiplash, like of my personal like emotion too, of like him saying like, oh, like I'm like he was going, Punk was going well and like hitting a like bunch of good points, and then he like built this like, oh, and I'm gonna bury you, and I'm like, I don't know about that one. Like, you're not gonna bury Roman Reigns. And like, oh, like,
you're totally
no.
right. You're totally right. That's how I felt. Like, what? You're gonna bury Roman? And then he said the line, and I'm like,
I said, oh, no, not that Barry. No, not that Barry.
He didn't even say in GTA. Like, he didn't even say in GTA to make it real. Like,
You didn't.
simple.
See, Punk, I thought we were talking about Barry like when heel Cena said I bury mediocrity. I didn't know that we were talking about real
Six
life
feet deep
Barry.
type shit. Like, whoa.
um and I you said a bunch of stuff there like about like them doing such a wonderful job of making it feel real and taking the like feud and their words to a certain level. I think this is a masterclass so far in two A+ like main event superstars showing you the high upside of what feuds and promos can and should feel like when it's appropriate. I have been incredibly impressed with how they have particularly towed the line between what between shoot and work, and like really blurring the lines between like what their on-screen characters have gone through and what they're like and what we as the public and like more hardcore fans know as their off-screen history over the past 10 years. um and so the idea that over these two promos that they've been able to cover so much of their real life history over the past 10 years is something that I've really appreciated, and they've done it in a thoughtful way of if you don't know all of the like inside baseball like history on like all of Punk's comments and like the beginning of like Roman's career
And
and
the
all the
shield and
ups
all this
and
stuff
many
that they talk
downs that
about.
happened with that, that it's not so prevalent that you can't enjoy it if you don't know that information and history. But if you do know that information and history, this is excellent so far.
I think you're right on the money right there because for me, I wasn't watching when the Shield was going on. Like I knew what the Shield was, and I know what turned out of it, and I know what impact they had on wrestling. But even without me following that time period, I'm still hearing this stuff, and I'm like, oh, he digging. One thing that I feel like is actually kind of getting under CM Punk's skin is when he calls him Phil.
Yeah.
I feel like he's like licking his lips, like this son of a bitch, bro. And honestly,
Yeah.
I really want him to call him. His name's Joe, right? If I'm not mistaken,
Joe.
I want him
Joe.
to call him
Yeah.
Joe. I want him to just be like, now Joe. Like, don't make
Yeah.
me. So, this has all been good. So I feel like what was weird that led up to this is that they teased the pipe bomb. Do you remember that last night that they teased the pipe bomb with the little him sitting down on the at the ramp, and then they showed the present day CM Punk sitting down at the top of the ramp in the same
Yes.
style? Because I was like, at first I was like, why'd they do that? And then
That was that was actually part of
is that for
it's
2K26?
part of the marketing for 2K26.
I
Yeah.
figured that's what it was. I was like, this has to be 2K26. And then they came
Yeah.
out and dropped these bombs, and I was like, oh, maybe it wasn't just 2K26 that they
Yeah.
were like alluding to there.
WWE, a lot of the WWE locker rooms have been taking it to hell over the past couple of days. It's been really funny.
Yo, we're gonna get there though, because there's other things we got to talk about. But just to go back to CM Punk real quick and Roman, I feel so bad because most likely 9 times out of 10 when Roman comes back in 2 weeks, that dog is getting brought up. And I
Dog
wonder
for
how bad.
sure.
I wonder where that's gonna push this feud. Because like realistically, like in my mind, I'm thinking, does this somehow reach the levels of like CM Punk and Drew McIntyre? Because that was such a banger feud, even though it did kind of drag in a little sense, but it was so perfect that it didn't matter. But
Yeah.
I'm like, does this go further than WrestleMania? They already have some interactions. They've really only
Maybe.
had one. They've really only had one match, which was the triple threat, right, where they like faced off against each other. So
Yeah, I
we
think
can
that's
get
definitely
more.
possible.
And we've seen CM Punk and Drew win at it like 4 times. So like we could get 3, 4 out of this, and I would be so satisfied because these guys are cooking. But the only thing that I'm skeptical about is that the fact that Roman's not around, and even CM Punk brings that up in the diss is like, I gotta carry this shit because you're not gonna be here every week to like keep this interesting. Because next week he has to do that. He has to somehow make us not forget about this without Roman Reigns being in the building. Um, and then my last thing that I got to bring up about this, before you get your parts and maybe we dabble some more, maybe we move on. He said the thing. CM Punk said the thing. You know what I'm talking about?
What did he say?
You made the list in the same
He did
cadence,
say that.
in the same
Yeah.
cadence too. And I'm like, did he just hint us? I feel like they're either hinting at that is happening, or they are throwing their bait out to sea and seeing if Chris Jericho will bite and be interested in coming back. So, but isn't he technically, is he out of contract with AEW and just
He
not
is
doing anything?
not.
He's not, right?
He is still under contract with AEW.
So, like
Currently.
realistically, nothing can happen with that, right? Like that's literally just dropping the line for the sake of dropping the line.
Until you no longer see him on the AEW roster page, he still has contractual
So to say, so for you
obligations
to
there.
bring up that point, actually, like not even a perfect segue because I don't really want to talk about it right now, but just to mention it, how can we really say that when Danhausen was on the AEW page until literally like the day of the Elimination Chamber?
Because that's when the his contract was through the day before Elimination Chamber, and
Oh,
then
realistically, okay, cool.
yeah,
Because I'm
and
sitting here in
then
my head, I was like, did
yeah,
AEW really just play along with WWE shit and like hold the
no,
secret for them? I was like, no way they did that, right? Like, no way they were helping
no,
AEW, WWE.
I think this is one of many situations where the person shows up on the new show the like very first day that they're contractually allowed to.
Okay, cool. Um, do we have anything else for Roman CM Punk right now? Because me personally, I feel like I'm also a little worried because I don't know how they make this another month and like a week or two without like,
Yeah, I have
because they're kind of at like the max of like what they can say words wise.
I have two quick things to add. One, before before Punk brought in his father, he like set it up by talking about Roman being alone and Roman being isolated. And this is something that I have been waiting for them and for Roman's character to explore this idea for almost two years now. The
Cody's the
the
first one to bring that
most
up.
the most interesting aspect of like what I was looking forward to seeing after he lost the belt at WrestleMania 40 was how is he as a character going to respond to him not only losing his championship but losing his family and the bloodline and like everything around him. So I hope that they continue to that the two of them together through this build like continue to tell the story and like build or like show the like fans the like emotional like psyche or the like emotional place that Roman has gone through or that Roman currently is with the fact that he is still at the top of the mountain in WWE as far as status, like whether he has a belt or not. But he has changed a lot over the past 2 years. We just haven't gotten to see it, and that's why I've been so frustrated. Like before this feud, because they haven't dug into that.
Excuse me.
Um,
What? Who hasn't seen it? I talked about this when he was talking to Jay. I was like, "Yo, we've seen the character development in Roman over the year, and it kind. I was literally saying it's kind of culminating with him telling Jay that, hey, you're good enough. look out for yourself. So I feel like it's been there, and I'm not gonna lie, I kind of feel like it's a tired angle, but it's an angle that works because that is the truth that Roman went so long with backing of his family and the bloodline, and now that he's without it, what does he do? And I'd rather it not be a story of like him being so shaken that he doesn't really know if he could do it or not. I like what they're doing with
Yeah,
him
I
right
don't
now.
want that. Yeah,
Yeah, I like that they're
yeah.
doing it right now. Like you could tell that it's in his head, like, can I? But he's so confident that he's always gonna be resilient and be like, dog, I'm Roman fucking Reigns. Like, I'll break you, bro. like, um,
Yeah.
and something I forget. There's one thing he said. Now that I said that, what did who did he say he would smash in this promo? I was kind of like, that was kind of a pointless line. There was no need to talk about those people.
Um, he said they were gonna send Punk down to NXT so that he can teach the next generation
So he could send
how
him
to
to
how,
smash him.
how to wrestle, so that he can send them up and so that he could beat them too. Yeah.
So I'm looking at this and I'm like, this is a pointless line because this is the same guy that said WWE is not doing a good job of creating new stars. And you're talking about smashing the new stars. like, so like counterproductive, but it was fucking heat still. Like whatever. But that's really what I had
Um,
to say in terms of what you were bringing up right there. Is that like, no, I saw the character changing. I saw that shit, and I was
well,
talking about it.
those couple of weeks, that he that he had that consistent interaction with Jay, I feel like was the most creatively satisfied that I've been with his character since then. So like I I am hoping for more of that. And secondly, um we're as we're thinking about what's next, I think if if Punk allows, like, that, the dog will likely be brought up. But I also, as I was scrolling the timeline today, was reminded of one of the best angles of the past couple of years, and that was the final boss pulling up on Cody Rhodes and whooping him with the belt, back out back in the rain. And my thought was, Roman, like, this this isn't like the like next step of like the like next time that Roman shows up, but if he's bringing up your father, and especially the Roman Reigns character, and um how essential, like, it is to his on-screen character motivation of how important his family and his bloodline is. At some point before you step in the ring at WrestleMania, I would love to see something, not exactly that,
There has
but
to be a scuffle, right? There has to be a
something of
scuffle.
that caliber, where it's like,
And
I am not um I am not responding in a way anything less than beating you to a pulp before you even get to the ring, if you think that you can bring up this topic and disrespect my father and my family in that way.
that's where I'm at with the how do they stretch it out over the next month and 2 weeks or whatever it is. Because, yeah, he's not there next week. He's going to be there the week after that. I think he misses another week or two on the way. And then,
Yeah,
so realistically, he's going to probably bring up the dog or some other disrespectful shit in 2 weeks. They have to fight, bro. Like they have to brawl. Like they have to get
yeah,
into a scuffle. But I know they're probably skeptical because they're both in their 40s and can get hurt. like so it's gonna be a tough spot for them, but they gotta take the risk, I feel like. They have to at least scuffle like 2 times on the way to
yeah.
this main event. There's no way that they just like walk around and act like no. And maybe that's why they're doing this Jay Uso, responding and not being too cool with the thing. So when next week comes along, Jay Uso could be the one to come out there and be like, "Hey, Us, you're tripping." To kind of be Roman's voice for a moment. Um,
I think that would be excellent, actually. I
yeah,
think that would be an excellent way to bridge the gap.
I think that's how they have to do it is because they have to use people who are close to these two characters who can kind of be like, hey, you're going like even if Cody stepped in with like CM, you're my boy. You're kind of going super low, my boy. Like,
I would actually love for it to be Jay.
no,
I would love for it to
I'm
be
just
Jay.
saying. I'm not saying that Cody instead of Jay. I'm just saying over those weeks when Roman's absent, since Cody
Yeah.
loves to appear on Monday for some reason. Cody likes doing that shit. What was the other part that I had about this? I think I had one more thing to bring up about this now. Uh, Actually, I can't think of it right now. I had it in my head. I said too much, and it probably wasn't that important. And if I remember it, I remember it. But yeah, I feel like this feud is actually in a really good space. It's in a risky space, but it's in a really good space right now. Um, I really need the scuffles though. Like I need this to feel like a blood feud. I need this to, like when we were at the show and Drew comes out and CM Punk leaves and then CM Punk is back and trolling. I
Yeah.
need shit like this. I need them to be getting under each other's skin. Oh, here's the thing I was gonna say. Whenever Gunther comes out and says something, he gets kicked the fuck off the show. Security comes out here. Oh, Adam Pierce is coming out. Where the fuck is Adam Pierce now? Where, like, when fucking CM Punk grabbed Roman Reigns' arm and that motherfucker was like, you crazy? And then when he said the thing about the dad, I'm surprised Adam Pierce ain't coming out here like, hey, let's make sure we don't mess up the main event for WrestleMania and this that. Like he's literally just giving them just handing them the responsibility to not mess it up on their own, which is like actually stupid of the general manager. But that is my
It's a pretty
piece.
good point.
Yeah, that
It's
was
a
my
pretty good
piece.
point.
Yeah, I had to bring it up the other day to one of my coworkers. I was like, yo, every time Gunther says something, he gets fucking told to go home, bro. Like, he ain't even doing nothing major, bro. Like, he's just talking. And then my boy was like, yeah, I mean, well, it's got to be pretty good to, get paid for the day and get sent home. I was like, yeah, you're right. But whatever. So do we move on? Are we good here? Or are we gonna keep going?
Yes, let's run through Elimination Chamber.
I actually want to fly through the matches, the two middle matches and the debut, and then we can get into the EC matches. So,
Sure.
AJ and Becky, I feel like honestly, I feel like AJ and Becky was a better match than CM Punk and Finn Balor. Finn Balor and CM Punk to me was a good match, but like think about it, we were watching it together, and literally the moment you said, this is kind of getting there. It's kind of gonna be a good match. It ended. It ended like literally as you thought it was
Yeah.
about to get good, really good. So that was kind of disappointing. It was a solid match. I like that Finn stayed out there and just did his own thing. People are pointing it out like it's such a hard thing to spot. They were like, "Hey, if you go back and did you notice that Finn considered calling Judgment Day out and decided not to because he's turning face? He's got to be turning face." I was like, "Are you under a rock? Like, do you not notice that's like the storyline going on right now, bro? Like, whatever."
Yeah.
But the AJ match was like actually pretty entertaining. I have been critical of AJ because she's not at work most of the time. Um, but right now, I kind of feel like her and Becky just work. It works better than what they were doing with Becky and Lyra. Like honestly,
Yeah.
how do you feel about her being the champ now? Now that she's won,
Yeah, so to start with AJ, I enjoyed the match. I was definitely pleasantly surprised with the match that they were able to put together, and particularly how AJ looked with this being her first televised singles match in over 10 years, which they made sure
tell
to
us 300
say
times.
and told us as well. But I really liked the like continued kind of storytelling of like not only Becky's relationship with AJ throughout the match, but also her relationship with the crooked referee Jessica Carr.
And it's not
Um,
just her saying it; it's everybody saying it. Sports Illustrated is saying it. The Bleacher Report is saying it.
and I I felt I felt like giving AJ the belt at this point was the right call, especially because now, as we saw, on Raw now. This gives her an opportunity to have other matches and to interact with other people while we know that she's going to be around more. She's somebody that we have no idea when the next time we're gonna see her is after WrestleMania. So I really love it for that. Um, I
Excuse me.
was not to detour too much. I think I expected the crowd in general to be like a little rowdier or like a little more on her side than like it necessarily was. Like the crowd was obviously on her side, but like I felt like I
That
don't
crowd
know.
wasn't that great.
Uh I felt like it it like wasn't quite the like home field advantage match like the way that they were trying to convey it as, which obviously Chicago is not where AJ Lee is from. If you don't
She
know
just
that,
lives there. Like,
she's from New Jersey, but I think it's fine to call it home for her. Obviously she lives there and has lived there for
oh, she's
a long
another
time
Jersey
now.
girl, huh?
Yeah.
Like,
um
isn't Liv also a Jersey girl?
she is, yeah. But yeah, that's where I was at with that. I'm still very happy that AJ is here. And I'm happy that she's champion. It does make me kind of rethink WrestleMania a little bit for her, but I'm happy that this match played out the way that it did for this show.
I think there's a lot of rethinking going on in terms of WrestleMania, honestly, with what's happened in the past couple of days. One of them that you called during the match that was like not that match, but during the men's elimination chamber match that was spot on the money that I wasn't even prepared for, realistically. But one thing that I will add that was cool, them getting the Bulls ring announce, I mean, game announcer and doing the
That was
whole
amazing.
Jordan
Yeah.
intro. I'm a little mad that they didn't at least let him step out and show face while the Bulls intro was playing, so it could really be like an entrance to the Bulls music, and
Yeah.
then cut over to his music as soon as like he soaked it in. But I can't complain. It was cool.
That was
So
sweet. Yeah. That
yeah,
was
yeah.
definitely one of the best
The
moments.
one thing I didn't care for is when AJ came running out at the end. I was like y'all
What?
forcing the Chicago thing, bro. Like, like you said, she's not even from
No, you
Chicago.
needed to have them both in the ring after with their championships.
Yeah, but you want to know what it is? Like, some is just cheesy about AJ Lee. I don't even think it's cheesy in a bad way. It just felt so cheesy to have her come out. Hmm, I got the belt too. Like, and then they got in there. If she kind of walked in there with more of a, I don't know, I guess less of an AJ Lee demeanor, like more of a Seth and Becky demeanor than a AJ and CM Punk demeanor, I would have enjoyed it more. Because I feel like they sell me better as a relationship. Seth and Becky, they're more of a solid wrestling relationship than I feel like CM Punk and AJ are. Like, but that's kind of because AJ is like so freshly returned. Also, I feel like
Yeah, I think in AJ's character work, she's still very much trying to be the same person that she was the last time that she was on TV. And that's I think where some of the disconnect is like with her like promos in particular. Um but I I like also understand like she is still like very much like dipping her toe back into this, so it's gonna take her a little time to kind of figure out the sweet spot of like how to still be AJ Lee, but kind of make it fit a little more to the person that she is now.
I really don't care for her promos at all. But I don't really dislike her. Like when she's in the ring, I'm not really opposed to her being in the ring, and I'm not like, oh, this is bad to watch. Not at all. But when she's on the mic, I'm just kind of like, can this 5 minutes be over already? Because I feel like she really doesn't say anything impactful. Like she says nice things and motivating things, but like she's not impactful. It's almost like she tries to take like a John Cena approach to her promos of like being motivational, but it just doesn't hit this nowhere near the same. Uh, but let's get on to the awkward debut. I,
Okay.
I felt like that was so. I feel like WWE just handled that bad. So Danhausen debuted. For those not familiar, Danhausen is from AEW. I was not super familiar with him. I can't say when I found out that it might be Danhausen because I already knew who Danhausen was. Um, I had looked into AEW at one time because I'd looked into Taz's son Hook, and going down that rabbit hole, I eventually came across Danhausen, who had some time with Hook, and I found him to be pretty entertaining. I'm not gonna lie. So when I heard Danhausen was a possibility, I was like, coming out the box. I guess that is the best person to like be believable coming out of a box after 2 weeks of a box being shown on TV. Uh,
Yeah.
but I just wish they did like a. I wish the box was more just a teaser to Danhausen, and then they debuted him later, like Monday or something. He came out to quiet reaction, booze,
There
awkward
were
Michael
some
Cole,
booze.
and you know
Yeah.
what really ticked me off about it is the carelessness and the I don't give a fuck attitude of Nick Aldis and Adam Pierce. They crack open the case. They don't even say, "Hey, let's find out what." They don't even try to like get you intrigued in this event. Like they don't like, "Hey, so we're about to open this case. Let's finally find out," or anything like that. They don't hit you with no Triple H like shit. They don't nothing. They just crack the case open. They see a coffin. They looked at each other and they walked away, all within like 4 seconds. And then, literally 2 seconds after they walk away, a whole bunch of music starts playing. People start coming out this coffin. He comes out, and they don't even come out to be like, well, what the fuck is going on here? What is this? Like, these guys really, as general managers, I am so confused on when they care for their show and when they don't care for their show. Like, WWE does not know how to handle when they should be, like, actually caring about their show sometimes. So, I felt like that was the biggest damage to it is that there was nothing to be like, what is this? Other than Michael Cole being like, who's this?
Yeah. This is not a character that you debut by teasing for 2 weeks on TV and then premiering in this way on a PLE. I Before this, I had seen him before, and I like knew him by name. I had not seen him at all. I started watching AEW well after he had already stopped appearing on TV. So that really was my first time actually seeing him as well. uh, and I was glad that kind of the reporting before the show kind of gave a heads up of what to expect. Not that my expectations were very high. I was half joking, kind of half serious, in that my prediction for the box was that it was going to be some type of advertisement for 2K26. So was I didn't have any expectation for it being anything. I didn't think that it was going to be Jericho or
I didn't think it was going to be a
any,
person because you
any
can't tell me
anything
that a
along those
person was in a
lines.
box. You can't tell me a person was in a box for 2 weeks. But if you
Yeah,
tell me it's Danhausen, I believe it more because like I said, I kind of had a little bit of back knowledge on the character already. Uh, yeah, poor poor handling. We discussed it right before it happened, like not too long before it happened. I said it. I was like, "Yo, this should be something that they're doing at the end of the night. They should be ending the night with this." And then, like 5 seconds later, they were like, "Yeah, we're
you
just
think
gonna do the
knowing?
box."
Yeah, okay, yeah. I was gonna say
In hindsight, I feel even more like they should have waited to the end. Like that would have been a more interesting ending because at least people leave with a, "Who the fuck is that?"
no, 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 no. You can't do that after the men's chamber.
What
It
the fuck was that monumental about Randy Orton winning? Like, yes, it's cool that Randy won, but it's not that monumental of an ending. It's actually a pretty just like, oh, cool, that's nice, he won, and then the Elimination Chamber happened. This is why Elimination Chamber is like kind of forgettable, is because things are kind of like just, it's like almost like speed ran. Like they kind of were like speed running at EC in a sense. It felt like. So at least
I
there,
think
you're leaving people with some kind of questions instead of this like Get this guy. Basically, what happens with Danhausen here is you're like, what the fuck? Get this guy off my fucking out my ring, and then they totally forget about it because Roman and I mean the elimination chamber happens right after. At least this
I
leaves you
think
pondering.
I think putting it after would have made the negative reaction 10 times more if you're closing the show with that.
I don't think so because literally, how long did that Danhausen thing take? Like 30 seconds, right?
Yeah,
Maybe
but
a
it's not
minute.
about the amount of time, it's the
No,
placement
no,
of
it's not. That was not my whole point. That was not my whole point. My point was it takes 30 seconds to a minute. So like literally to sit there and be like, oh my god, you guys took 30 seconds to debut a person at the end. It doesn't hurt the show at all. And it probably doesn't hurt Danhausen. He's probably not getting booed out the building either if it happened at the end when people were getting up to leave. Like, this could have been handled better, and they could have gotten a not better reaction, but they could have gotten a less bad reaction out of this. Like, because what they did was shit. What they did was shit. Oh, you could anybody you could think of any other way to make this a better debut than what they did.
yeah.
So at least to get the crowd hyped, and then the Danhausen thing, you're hyped, you're in there, and you know what it does? You're pondering on it, and you get in the car and you're talking about that shit. Who is that motherfucker? You get in the car and you're instantly looking up. Who the fuck is this dude? Danhausen. People are watching YouTube videos now to see who this guy is. At least you build a little more interest instead of people sucking their teeth and being like, "This is what you did. This is what you did." Like, that's my mindset on it, at least. So it's fine if you don't agree, but that's my mindset on it. That's my take. Sorry, Danhausen. I like you. We'll get back to you later. We'll get back to you later. Uh, EC matches. Uh, what do you want to say about these EC matches? We start with the women's, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, let's go. We know the winner, Rhea Ripley. Kind of obvious with the people in there. I definitely made a biased pick in my winner for the EC because I just want Raquel to get a title on her hands, even though it really makes no sense for her to go over to SmackDown. Oh, before I get into it, I think she's plotting. I think she's plotting. I think Logan's plotting. I think Austin Theory's plotting. We damn sure know that Seth Rollins is plotting, but I think Raquel is plotting. I think she's too friendly after all this stuff that's been going on lately and too forgiving. And I don't think as a heel, why are you being so friendly and forgiving if somebody did you dirt like multiple times? But I wanted Raquel to win, but she put on a fucking show. Her and Kiana James were balling for me, and honestly, let me throw it over to you because I feel like I don't really have much to say about this in terms of match quality. I got the ending that I wanted with Rhea and Tiffany, but how did you feel about this?
So this has been interesting. I think I walked I w- I walked away from the show that night being happy about the results, but I was like, what, how do I internalize and I think describe like I am happy with the results and I still feel a bit like a bit underwhelmed in like the quality of the process of getting to those results if it made sense. And it's not because of I don't think it's because of like the like quality of the performance of the wrestlers. It's it's not that. I actually tied it back to, and I think remembered feeling similar about war games of I don't feel like recently have they have done enough to make these matches that are supposed to have a level of like aura and like in the sense of like them being like the like wrestlers feeling like there's a real gravity and like there's a real violence and there's a real cost to being in these matches. Not that I'm expecting blood, like or like anything along those lines, but I think in both of these elimination chamber matches, like this has also kind of left me feeling like, all right, like yes, you were in the cage, and like yes, you were in the chamber, like and you like used the like pods and did some spots with them, and like people jumped off of them, but like it didn't really feel like there was a level of intensity that's all that different from if they were having a regular like 6-person match on Raw, not in a chamber. Um, so I think I know that we were talking about the like women's match in particular, but I think overall, like that's kind of my prevailing thought on both of them.
The women's match, I enjoyed. This is probably the first time that in a while that I didn't feel like the women necessarily had the more interesting match. I think they performed better in their match, but I feel like the men's was just slightly more interesting for obvious reasons. One, they had a winner that people didn't necessarily have as their winner because a lot of people expected Cody to get in there or Drew to fuck it up, which he did. But a lot of people didn't expect for Randy to win. Uh, Most people expected Rhea to win. But I look at this kind of like the dunk contest and All Star Weekend. Like it just doesn't have this. It doesn't have the same pizzazz because you're like you've seen this, like Elimination Chamber. Like what do you do that's not done in Elimination Chamber? Like you. So, um, if I had to look back in the last like 6 months or maybe a little more, there hasn't really been a high from a pay per view since SummerSlam.
Yeah, yeah, off the top of my head.
So like
Y- yeah,
I kind of look at it like WWE just has multiple All Star weekends throughout the year, and they're just hitting like All Star Weekend when they're just like, oh yeah, they're doing things, and this is a little cooler than a regular game or a regular wrestling event, but like I think they're at a point where it's hard to mind blow people unless you're like doing like crazy debuts or like some super ridiculous spot. Cause like look at Io. She goes into war games and she's done the same garbage can spot, like not the same garbage can spot, but the garbage can spot 3 years in a row. And it's like, can it really be that much cooler as the years go on? No. So I don't know. They struggle with their bigger events right now, and I feel like the biggest thing is that the middle matches were just generic, bland. Uh, Danhausen was a meh debut, and I think when you get those kind of things, it kind of overall gives you like a weird hindsight outlook on the EC matches. Because I feel like when we were watching them, we were enjoying what was going on, but then when we sit back and look at it like a couple days later, we're like, yeah, it was cool. But I also think that what happens is just nothing really stands out as a memorable moment from those events. Like especially the women's event. Like there were standout performances, like Kiana and Raquel, like I said. Rhea put on a good show. That little the front flip somersault moonsault off well not moonsault, but the somersault off the cage onto whoever it was with Raquel with them on the top rope. That was cool. And stuff like that. Kiana was being aggressive right away. She got to eliminate Alexa Bliss and stuff like that. So there's highs and lows for the match. But I don't know. There is something left to desire when I look back on those matches. To go into the men's, uh, I thought one thing that was dragged with these matches was the people going around and like looking at everybody in the pods when they were coming into the ring.
bro.
That like it felt so like unconvincing. I don't even think it was a bad thing. It just felt unconvincing. The only one that was kind of cool was Alexa and Rhea, because I don't know if you noticed, but somebody put it online. They kind of did something like that last year, or I think Alexa did it to Rhea last year. So Rhea was doing it back, and Alexa kind of seen it coming, basically thing, and that's why they did the bang at the same time thing. Uh, but yeah, just lackluster, honestly. To get into the men's, uh, Drew interfering. Um, I obviously had Cody winning, but my mind was literally telling me the only way Cody doesn't win is if Drew gets involved, and Drew got involved. I like seeing Randy at the end. I'm happy for Randy because I want him to get the titles, and I think I more have a sour taste in my mouth for what happened after Elimination Chamber when Nick Aldis announces Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre on Friday, and then my brain just goes, are you really about to take the title off my boy so he can't go into WrestleMania as the champion? Like, I'm gonna be fucking pissed if that happens on Friday. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like that's like the worst thing they could have did out of the Elimination Chamber day, honestly. Was announced that. They could have I feel like they could have got this route any other way. They could have just been like, hey, we're just gonna include him in the Mania match. Whoever gets there is now a triple threat because Drew keeps fucking over Cody. So like they could have just did that and I would have been fine. But forcing Drew into a match prior to Mania is really burning my shit. But I'll leave you with that because I think I'm done with Elimination Chamber. And Seth Rollins returned. You know that was nice. Uh, I got questions about that, but I don't feel like
Did you
really
hear
jumping
that,
into that.
WWE? Did you hear the excitement in his voice when he just talked about the reveal of your 12th masked man story? Oh yeah, Seth Rollins showed up. Do something else. Do some different music.
I'm happy that Seth.
enough
No,
with enough with the masked man.
I'm happy that Seth Rollins is back.
I I I am thrilled that Seth Rollins is back. I love Seth Rollins. No more masked man.
Shit instantly.
No more masked man.
Things instantly feel more intense now that Seth Rollins is back. It's kind of crazy how things have kind of like got a more urgent feeling to it because he's returned. Uh, but other than that, like yeah, he popped up, and the first masked man popped up and with a decoy, and I'm like, how many fucking masked mans does he have on payroll, bro? Like, this is like the 27th masked man, and then we saw more on Monday. Like we saw like five
Yeah.
on Monday. Like what the fuck? So like
He
I'm
got a whole school. Yeah.
and I'm just like, bro, why do we need all these masked men, bro? Like I hope that's the last we see of him. Like, I don't even know why he came out in the mask on Monday. Honestly, like, I don't even know
um,
why.
I have a last thought about the men's chamber. I know y'all saw that entrance and the we were talking about kind of the like lackluster kind of crowd reaction for most of the show. Trick Williams is the one, and it warms my heart in a very special way to see him continue to blow up and shine immediately the way that he has. He was my first favorite on NXT, like when I first came back into wrestling. So this is kind of the I guess the second class, because the first class that I saw graduate would have been like Braun and Mello, but this class with Trick, Javon, Lash, and Oba like are ones that like I really got to like live with for a long time on NXT, and like really become fans of them there. And so to now see them all elevated at the same time, and to like the roaring success that all of them have had, and particularly Trick, so far, just because he's kind of had the most spotlight, has been really amazing for me personally.
You know who's one who was in that Braun Breaker class that like doesn't even really register because she moves so fucking fast in the main roster. One Roxanne was in
Who's
that
that?
class also, but Tiffany
Mhm.
Stratton is part of
Yeah.
that class.
Yeah.
Does it even
Yep.
feel like it? Like Tiffany Stratton, like in that class, does not even feel like she's part of that class, honestly. Like, because she's the most advanced, like
Yeah.
story wise, out of any of them. So it's
Yep.
kind of crazy to think about it when you think about it. But boy, I'm not gonna say much. One, I'm super happy that this class is like being received so well by the fans right now. But boy, I'm gonna say it again. I am sorry I doubted you, Trick Williams. I have been on this show
You did.
multiple times questioning if he was ready. And I'm not even gonna lie. I feel like when I was questioning if he was ready, I was in the right. But you have just proven me wrong that because you've stepped up so much since you got that TNA title. And you've become such a great character. Trick, congratulations to you. You one of them ones, bro. Like you got a future ahead of you, bro. Like keep doing what you're doing. You're fun to watch. You're one of the best things about SmackDown every fucking week since you've been there. Keep telling me about
Later.
your lemon pepper steppers. Like I want to hear it all. I want to hear you telling Sami Zayn his breath smells like 10 pounds of bounce that ass. Like I want to hear all that kind of fucking shit coming out you. Keep doing you, Trick. Like keep doing you. Keep being you. Don't change. Like man, what a pleasant surprise to see Trick get so good out of nowhere for me, basically. Um, like I said, there's not much more for me to say because other than that, I'd just be basically repeating the same thing in different ways. But boy, is he entertaining! Like when I was watching NXT, I would have never thought that Carmelo Hayes and him would have such a gap. And there's a gap. Like Carmelo's starting to get some buzz because he went face and all that shit. But there's a gap in how he's received and how Trick is received. Like Trick is literally getting
Yeah.
stadium reactions where the whole crowd is into his shit. Carmelo gets good reactions. He gets pops, but he's not getting what whoop that Trick. Whoop that Trick. Like that
Yeah.
shit just fills the room.
Well, I think it's I think it's a couple things. Not to spend too much time on this because we have a lot more to cover. But he like my my belief in him like I think compared to Carmelo like with his potential to be a like main event caliber star. One, you can't teach size, and for as much as I love Mello, he is small, and Trick is 6'5", and that's before he puts on the lemon peppers.
As Randy Orton looked at him and said, "You're not 6'5".
Um, and he has a charisma as a mic worker and just as a character that Mello doesn't have. And so even if Tricks in ring I think took a little bit to like get to a level where it feels like where we feel a bit more secure, like with him being able to put on good matches with a wider range of people. That character work, I think was the biggest foundation for for why I believed in him. And obviously he came onto the main roster with a already tried and true crowd chant, that most other people don't have their entire career, never mind walking in day one with it. um so he just continues to make me smile and make me proud, and I'm just really happy for him.
I think I said it in the last video, or I said it somewhere else where we were talking, and I gave Tiffany Stratton credit because She kind of opened the door where people had to start looking at NXT and being like, "Oh, NXT got some shit." Because, like I said, she was getting the push before Braun Breaker was really getting the push. Um, but if I'm not mistaken, the one of the shows we went to when we seen Tiffany was her debut, and we were there, and she was doing this Tiffy time, and nobody knew to do the it's Tiffy time with her and stuff like that. To go to your point, look at a year and a half later. And Trick don't got that problem at all. They know his shit from the very get go, bro. Like,
Yeah.
so good for him. Good for Javon, who's probably got the smallest pop of them all, but the crowd loves this guy because he's entertaining in the ring. And it's like this guy,
Yeah.
he's also got charisma, bro. Like just in a different way, but he's got a shit ton of
Yeah.
charisma also. Like Oba Femi got the least charisma out of them all. He just got that intimidation factor to him, bro. Like
He also has it as well too.
he's got charisma, but he don't got it like them two do, bro. He just got confidence. That's what it
Yeah.
is. He's convincing and confident. That's what his thing is. But like, bro, to see these guys come in and all of them are like crowd favorites right away. Like, it's amazing the leaps and bounds that NXT has taken over this last like year or two or three. But sadly, I watch NXT and that shit is like unbearable right now. I'm not gonna lie. Outside of the women's division, I always say that. Outside of the women's division, that shit is kind of unbearable. But
Yeah, I've had to take a little bit of a break from NXT the past couple weeks.
I've been doing that for the past couple months, honestly,
Yeah.
on and off watching it. We mentioned Cody versus Drew at SmackDown on Friday. We won't really dig into that now. We'll talk about that later when we talk about our WrestleMania picture.
Yeah.
But the other hot topic that happened before Raw, them Twitter fingers are active. Jade Cargill and Rhea Ripley get into an exchange of words that expand beyond Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill. Do you want to carry us into this one?
I don't have it pulled up in front of me,
We
but
don't need the post, man. We just
I
need to
don't know.
talk about what's going on, bro. I can summarize. Basic,
All right, yeah, hit it.
Basically, what happened is Jade Cargill is talking junk online, and Rhea Ripley responded. And Jade Cargill's jab was to be like, "Oh, blah blah blah," that always whining like you do to the creative, so you can be in these positions and shit like that. You know, the first thing I thought of when I read that Jade Cargill line and seen Rhea Ripley responding and talking about hit dogs holler and shit like that, I was like, yo, is this literally another Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton happening right in front of us? And with the way WWE has handled things recently, especially with Unreal, and especially with storylines like R-Truth firing and rehiring and stuff like that, I they in a sense almost recreated kayfabe in a new way because I am not sure if this
Yeah.
is a work or if this is real right now. And they're even promoting that this was not supposed to go down like this. That this was not planned. That this was just a thing
Yeah.
that happened on the internet and it overblew. And what really makes me feel like this is not a work is that heels were stepping in to defend Rhea Ripley. And apparently Charlotte Flair stepped in to defend Jade Cargill. So a face stepped in to defend Jade Cargill, and Chelsea, Piper Niven, and Nia Jax all basically chimed in Rhea Ripley's behalf. So I'm like, if the heels
Piper kind of went nuts on her. I'm not gonna lie.
did she? Did she? I'm sitting here like Piper, hurry your ass back up and get healthy. I hope. I hope you get healthy and can wrestle again because we need to see this. And I think they had a match too already too. But let's
They
do it
have,
again. Let's
yeah.
do that shit a fuck again because there's some heat here. Um, that was an interesting thing. I don't think there's much like it's not really much to look into. Like just like Chelsea and Tiffany, it's gonna be fun to talk about until Friday comes around. But I think after Friday comes around, we just like forget about the tweets and shit like that. But for now, that was interesting, especially because I don't like the Rhea Ripley that I've seen. Like I know she's active on social media, but she's not really like a back and forth on social media person. So for that to happen, I was like, sheesh, what the fuck is going on
Yeah.
here? But you can go ahead, man, if you have any extra thoughts for that.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's some real feelings in there. Obviously you can decide for yourself how how much of it was organic. I I do believe like the general thought that there was some type of like agreed upon plan to start building hype and excitement for the match and for the feud online, and I think it makes sense that that Rhea and some other people didn't like the angle and the approach that Jade was starting to take. I think that makes sense. And to if you tie that into some previous reporting over the past year or so, again, believe as much of that as you see fit. But this isn't the first time that we've heard of the insiders and the dirt sheets talking about there being some people within the women's locker rooms that haven't exactly loved working with Jade.
I can tell
Um,
Michin and BFAT probably do not because they both got hurt. Like,
so I think ultimately, like, obviously they are going to spin this into the story, and this actually has continued to build excitement for SmackDown as I'm excited to see how they continue to build off this and to make some excitement for the actual match, besides just the general excitement that comes with a Rhea Ripley match. So that will be good. But
I'm trying to think. Did
yeah,
Piper's injury happen during the Jade Hit match also? I'm not gonna dig too
no,
much into that because I doubt it was, but
no.
yeah, I doubt it was also. But my final thought on this is Chelsea makes it. Chelsea made it feel real. But also, when I thought about it, I was like, it's reasonable for Chelsea to be chiming in. Because Chelsea, like I said, when she interacts with these other people, like the bigger stars, she's normally gold. And whenever Rhea Ripley's in the same area as Chelsea Green as a heel kisses her ass. Like, she's always like, oh my god, nope, I didn't mean anything to you, Rhea. My bad. Like, da da da. Well, she's scared of Rhea. The character, in character, she's scared of Rhea. She cowers to Rhea. Um, but in character, she has been sassy toward Jade also. So it fits her character to do this, realistically. Especially
Yeah,
with the interaction she's had with these characters. The only one that makes it feel like there might be more organicness than work to this is Nia Jax. So I was like, what the fuck does Nia Jax have to like? Why does she chime in?
yeah,
Like, yeah, she's probably not feeling Jade Cargill either, because like she had her run-ins and bump-ins with Jade Cargill. But like to be kind of siding with Rhea Ripley, somebody who you're constantly like shitting on, kind of shit on.
yeah.
I was like, ooh, this might be a little more real than we think. But it definitely does build excitement for the match. Um I'm not gonna lie, I really hope they don't. I'm not necessarily eager to see Rhea with another belt, but I'm hoping they don't sacrifice Rhea to try to boost Jade because I don't really think that helps. One, like, I don't really think that helps at all to like make Jade win this match. So I'd
Yeah, I
prefer
don't.
Rhea to win at Mania.
Yeah, I also don't really want to see Jade beat Rhea. But but yeah,
Jade doesn't fit the role for me, man. Like she is a cool person to look at. Like she's got the build, she's got the aura. She doesn't wrestle that great. She is a powerhouse, and she does good at being a powerhouse. But like her in ring skills aren't really that great. And her promo skills just fucking ass to me, bro. I don't think they control what these guys say. I'm pretty sure they give them an idea, like, yeah, you know, be an antagonist, be either do this, they do that. But when they go out there and talk, that's like them just making up words on the fly, improving. And I'm never impressed with her blah blah blah. You can't beat me. I'm that bitch. Like and walking away. She literally pulled that fucking the same promo twice last Friday, bro. And I was like, "Are you serious?" And then they gave her a third segment in the back. You know, like, come on, man, we don't need this much Jade Cargo, bro. It's not that serious. But I don't want to sound like a Jade Cargo hater because I do actually, on my inside, I do want to like what Jade Cargill is doing. She's just not doing it for me. So that's all I got on that. Any more, or do we move?
No, let's do some quick hitter notes on the rest of Raw, and then we can finish up with what Wrestlemania is looking like so far.
So I'm gonna ask this question, and then you can like sum up what happened at the beginning of Raw for the people.
Okay.
LA Knight, Jimmy Uso, Seth Rollins, that had to be orchestrated, right? There's no way they're all just coincidentally in the right place at the right time. And I don't mean
Of
scripted. I
course.
don't mean
Yeah.
scripted. I mean they had to like actually conspire that, right? Like
The like
why?
characters work together. Yes.
But what I'm not getting is fucking LA Knight hates Seth Rollins. So why did he fucking work with him? Unless Seth Rollins is getting a new faction.
No, I don't think it's that.
I don't either. And so that's why I'm asking that question. Is like, what the fuck sense does it make for LA Knight to be working with Seth Rollins?
Because LA Knight has been feuding with the Vision for
So he's just
God
like,
knows
okay,
how
cool. So you
long.
got kicked out, so I just forgive you for all the shit that I don't like you for. It's kind of boring angle.
I guess so.
Like he called him up while injured, like LA, I'm sorry, man. Can you please drive Paul Heyman to the hospital? Like, where's Paul
Yeah.
Heyman? Like, where did he go? Did LA Knight actually drive this man to the hospital? Did he just drive him off a
We'll
ditch
never know.
somewhere? Like, what happened? Like, imagine if Paul Heyman is just missing for a while, bro. I think the LA Knight inclusion is the way we get. I think Brock Lesnar has a couple options for Mania that are really up in the air and nothing solidified yet. But I think
Yeah.
we're more leaning. The two obvious options are going to be Seth Rollins versus Brock or LA Knight versus Brock. And depending on if Braun Breaker comes back, is able to come back, I think that's the biggest factor in what happens with Brock Lesnar at Mania. Because if Braun's back, it's going to be Seth versus Braun. And I think if Braun's not back, it's going to be Seth versus Brock.
Yeah, this segment definitely opened the door to narratively putting Brock and Seth together. Um, Speaking about this segment, did remind me of something that we don't need to spend much time with, but as we're talking about LA Knight,
Stop
poor
doing those moves.
LA
Stop
Knight,
doing those moves, LA Knight.
poor LA Knight
I still love
had
you. Yeah.
about the roughest 30 seconds during that men's chamber match that you could possibly have.
Yo, I wonder if it was always supposed to go like that, like the immediate pin right
Where
after.
he slipped trying to do the like very difficult, like it is like
I don't
a
really blame
very
him.
difficult jump that he always tries to do from that middle rope to the top rope. So he slipped and then got hit in the nuts and then got rolled up and pinned.
I'm not gonna lie, he's got like a 75% like success rate on that move. But like when you're botching it that often, especially with the other move he does, it's like just cut those moves out your package, bro. Like or make them more rare to do. Make them more rare where you're just practicing them all day and you pull them out like very rarely. But kind of like how John Cena has those moves that he only pulls out in like bigger matches. Make it for that.
Yeah.
And if you mess up there, it's fine because you don't do them every day and we don't see you consistently botching them. That'll fix everything, honestly. But yeah, I'm kind of I forgot about it. Not that I literally forgot about it, but like I forgot to mention it, bring it up. But like you brought it up, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of sour that you brought it up. Because honestly, I would have went through this whole video, never even thought about it. I would have got in bed later on, and I would have laughed to myself that we didn't bring it up. I would have laughed like, "Oh my god, we didn't bring that up," but fuck it. I'm trying to protect you, LA Knight. You know what? We're trying to do like WWE does and protect their wrestlers. But yeah, he botched and that sucked. And but back to my question: do you think that he was gonna get pinned at that point anyways? Because it's kind of weird to just be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, get him out the ring," like because he fucked up. Like, how do you even call that, right? Like,
Yeah, no, I think that was the point that he was supposed to be out anyways. It just kind of got extra. It just got extra highlighted uh by by him slipping.
yeah, yeah. So and Logan got three pins in that, three eliminations. I'll just say eliminations. But they're obviously painting him strong, and this is another reason why I feel like he is like plotting. Because why are they trying to make him look so strong? There's no need to try to make him look like a dominant force when he's like the only relevant Vision member left. Like he's already the only relevant one.
I agree with the general sentiment that he just did the spots that Bronson Reed was supposed to do, and they didn't change anything.
I don't think it's the spots. I just think they're the eliminations because I don't think half the ways he eliminated people were he was going to eliminate them. I got to
Well,
see a.
yeah, not.
I'm so upset because I don't even know how to judge this. I finally got to see a pulverizer and it almost killed Javon Evans.
And he dropped Javon on his head.
Yeah, but I don't think that's fully his fault. Like I watched it a couple times and it's like Javon like kind of like you know how like when they flip up, like it's not just on the attacking wrestler to do it, but like you gotta like throw your momentum so like it works out properly. I feel like Javon
Mhm.
being so active overthrew himself a little bit and slipped out of Logan's grasp, and Logan tried to like recover it, and it just looked bad. So like it was just like it's almost like an unfortunate event, and nobody really did something wrong. Because like if you look at Logan's movement, he does the normal movements that he normally does in that move. And Javon really doesn't do anything wrong either. It's just like too much momentum was created in the move. And it was done too fast. I'll say that. It was done way too fast. You could tell like that was faster than your regular setup for a pulverizer. I've been asking for that for months now because he never gets to do it, and he almost killed a guy I like. That elimination chamber was not kind to me and the things that I like. I'll tell you that much. But back to Monday. So I got our question out the way where we talked about the them working together, which is weird, and I hope they bring and I hope they touch on it at some point that they work together. So, but do you want to talk about the actual events that played out to start the night?
Sure. Yeah. So it started with the Vision opening another show with a promo segment. Austin Theory, not to spend too much time. I I don't dislike Austin Theory, the performer, but brother, his his promo segments as a heel are
No,
terrible.
they're not. No, they're not. He had that really good one
I
with The
think
Rock. He has
they're
good ones.
so I think they're so bad.
He has good ones, and then he has times where you can tell he's shaking. Cause like this dude stood in the ring with The Rock and carried his own as a heel. Like that's not somebody who sucks on the mic, honestly. But he definitely didn't know what he was supposed to be doing out there Monday. Like he started off decent, and then the crowd got to him, and then he was like, "Yep, you tell him." I was like, "Oh, that." I don't know if that was supposed to go that way, and that's because like his character is kind of like impulsive, as you can tell. Like his new character is supposed to be like the impulsive guy, and kind of fits the character. But I'm like, that don't feel like it was supposed to be in character though. Like,
I don't think they know what his character is, but that's beside the point.
I'm going off of what Paul Heyman refers to him as. Like he's like the loose cannon right now. Like he's the most uncontrollable one, the unpredictable one. And I'm like, yeah, because he's fucking working for Seth Rollins, bro. Like that's why he's unpredictable to you motherfuckers. So they just I hope that's where this goes, and they need to get there. They need to get there because I feel like this can't last much longer.
I agree with that last part. Um,
But they are winning the tag titles at Mania, so it sucks. They're going to be going for a
and
little longer.
so after that, Seth coordinated this, multi-person, like really smart plan to get Logan and get Theory out of the ring so that he could have a one-on-one moment to attack Paul Heyman with a chair shot to the back and a stomp. Um, and then it rolled out into what was eventually Paul Heyman being put into the back of the ambulance, um, and then also being the introduction of Jimmy Uso attacking the Vision members there, and the reveal of LA Knight driving the truck.
Are you fully set in the thought that the Vision jumped Jey Uso? I'm not fully sold on that. I'm not gonna lie. I think when we get that actual answer of who jumped Jey Uso, it's gonna be actually like surprising. Because I think this is another thing that Jay don't even know. Like Jacob didn't know if Drew. Like think about it, they're still playing into this angle that Drew attacked Jacob, and Jacob even tried to point the finger at Drew for Jay. So like we have like two culprits right now, and there's no clear answer. And Sammy was looking fucking guilty as shit on Friday. I'm not gonna lie. So I don't think the Vision did it.
Yeah, I mean,
They've been doing
truthfully,
shit. I don't think they did.
I don't even think that they have a definitive answer right now. I think the
I
Jay
doubt it.
thing was just because they needed Jay to be out, and they'll figure it out later.
This is the same swerve that they
Um,
used for Naomi when when the Jade thing happened. Because remember, Unreal tells you that they basically had no clue that they actually wanted to make it Naomi until like a week before they made
yeah,
it Naomi.
because all the fans kept saying the most interesting thing here is if it's Naomi.
Because it was the most interesting thing, and somehow WWE loves ignoring the thing that's right in their face for some reason.
I agree.
But yeah, I think anybody but I think acting like the Vision did it, and then eventually finding out it wasn't the Vision. They're basically the Liv Morgan in this situation. I think
Yeah,
that's a more interesting story to tell. That the Vision actually didn't do Jey Uso. Like they're down and they're cool with it, but like they weren't the ones responsible for that. They were just they were just being opportunists and getting in the elimination chamber after Jey Uso got
yeah.
hurt. Um,
Honestly, I don't even know if we're gonna get an answer for that one.
yeah, I can see them waltzing away and acting like that never happened. Especially like I said, when Jacob tied it into also being Drew, with Drew also being tied into Jacob's time off, and you know me, I'm very adamant that Drew McIntyre for the his whole shtick has been since he turned heel, even right before he turned heel, that he don't lie. He tells you the
Yeah.
truth. And he has
Yep.
not told you the truth this entire past 2 years. So I'm going to stick with Drew and believe that he's not lying about this stuff, because he would be the first one in the ring to come out there and tell you he did it immediately
I
after
agree.
he did it. That's been his whole shtick. So I get people
I
want to be in
agree.
their I get the wrestlers want to be in their feelings and point fingers at Drew and point fingers at all these other people. Hopefully we do get an answer to Jay. I don't really care if we don't. But we do need an answer to Jacob. We do need an answer to Jacob. And the only reason why I would need an answer to
Eventually. Yeah.
and the only reason why I would like an answer to Jay is if it ties in to being the same person who attacked Jacob.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
only way I would want to see it. But yeah, that's all I have there for that. That's the last little bit I got for that.
Yeah.
So was there anything else that happened? We got to finish with Seth,
Yeah.
right?
A couple of other things just to touch on from Raw, and I'm sure that there's one that you'll want to
Can I
spend a
point
little
out?
bit more time on.
Can I
Yeah.
point out that Seth Rollins mirrored the Roman Reigns turn on with Paul Heyman, and ironically enough, if I'm not mistaken, this is the same building that happened.
They said, or Punk said at the end of the night that it was the same city where the Shield debuted. I don't know where they were when
Oh yeah,
when the
that
Shield
might be
breakup
what I'm
happened.
confusing it with, but it might also still be that too.
Yeah.
But I could be mistaken. I'm a non-expert. There we go. We'll throw that out there right there. And I'm still
um,
confused on why Seth Rollins came out with the mask on.
just because everyone else did, I guess.
What's the fucking point? It's not even like Paul. Because remember, when Logan and Austin ran off, another masked man popped up. So a third masked man popped up, and Paul Heyman was staring that man down. Seth creeps into the backside of the ring. He pulls the mask off before Paul Heyman can even look at him. So what's the point of the mask if you were never gonna like tease Paul Heyman and then pull off the mask when Paul Heyman's looking at you? That's just me. Well, we can move on. Dragon Lee and Gunther put on a fucking banger. Not gonna lie.
Yes, excellent match.
And I feel like not so much like the in ring stuff, more that they did a great job portraying the emotion that they were supposed to portray in this match.
Yep.
Like I'm watching this match and I'm sitting here trying to like, cause I watched that match like 3 times just today. Like just today, I watched that match like 3 times, and I was like, I don't even see what's really different about this match from a regular Gunther Dragon Lee kind of experience, even though we've never seen them in a match before like that. But I'm like, something about this is just giving me the emotion that it's supposed to do. So kudos to them for putting on a banger. I'm
For
really
sure.
upset at I'm really upset at the camera work at the end of the match though. Do you know
Uh,
why? I don't
that
know if you
they,
caught that. Cause that wasn't
yeah,
like
I
a
mean,
after effect thing where somebody on like in the stands caught that image. That was
that
actually the camera.
they like kind of showed his face.
Yeah, but they showed enough that anybody can go back and freeze frame it and have the actual image. Like, luckily he has the black here, so like you don't get a full scope of what he looks like under the mask. Cause like it's not like you can go get shown pictures like, oh yeah, that's Penta right there from the picture. But
Yeah.
not Penta, Dragon Lee. But I was very disappointed in the camera work. I think the camera, and that's kind of on Gorilla, ain't it? That's kind of on Gorilla for not making sure that the cameras knew not to be looking at that angle at that time.
I'm not gonna act like I know the intricate details of their camera work.
Think about it. We've seen they literally tell us this in Unreal. That's why I'm bringing that up is because remember, even when they were doing like things like was it the Braun Breaker debut? Triple H is literally telling them what to pan to and shit like that. Like or SummerSlam, whatever it is.
In the show, they were talking about him taking over for the camera stuff for Cena's heel turn.
But I'm pretty sure somebody's in charge of what camera angle should be there. Because like, how do they know when to flick a camera angle to a different angle? Somebody's got to be like kind of orchestrating that.
Yeah,
It might not be Triple H, but somebody's orchestrating
somebody
that.
does.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they goofed. So I'm kind of disappointed in them in that. Not really mad, but disappointed in that. AJ Lee Open Challenge. That was pretty. I think the Open Challenge is pretty cool, but does it really come of anything? Because
I
who
thought
would
the
you want to win it?
delivery
Who would you want to win the gauntlet match?
of the people that are in the match,
You already know my answer.
um I I would have a preference for Lyra or Bailey.
My answer is Big Sexy. Lyra's been in this like boat already of going for the IC
But she
title.
hasn't faced AJ though.
I know,
I
but
want I
my
want her to have an opportunity to face AJ.
I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that, but I don't really like. So my mindset is this: does AJ Lee necessarily walk into Mania as the IC champion? When I see this,
Yes. Yes.
if it's Raquel, I can't see it. AJ Lee beating Raquel makes no sense to me if that's what turns out to be the outcome. But everybody else on this list, outside of honestly, I'm also skeptical about her beating Asuka. So there's that. But Lyra Bailey, uh, Ivy Nile,
EO.
Io's another one. Like if Io comes out of this, she's not beating Io. So or shouldn't be beating Io realistically. But I think Io is also going to go on a little bit of a roller coaster ride now that Rhea and the tag team titles are over. I think that's the only way to give her an interesting story is to kind of give her some adversity to deal with. I don't think they should be jumping back into the Asuka Io stuff. I don't think that's the right direction.
You know? I mean, what else
I think the only way that you really
is
do that,
captivating right now?
I think the only way you do that is if you're going to eventually put Kyrie back next to Io.
You can do that. I mean, yeah, that can be the result of the match
But that's the
is that
thing.
that's where Kyrie switches.
But that's the thing. That's not the feud. The feud is Kyrie Asuka. So like Io doesn't need to have matches in that for it to get there. So she can just be the support. Like realistically, like because in the past 2 weeks, Io tried to support Kyrie, And then AJ this week tried to support Kyrie. So that's kind of the story, that these people are going to be supportive shoulders to lean on while Kyrie kind of gets her brain together and realizes Asuka ain't it. And those are probably going to be the people she leans on afterwards. Hopefully. Not to make any guarantees. But I don't know. I don't think her match necessarily needs the title, but it is more interesting, I guess. I guess it is more interesting if Becky's coming after the title again. Uh, I I'm just not really interested in what's going on with what can be possible with the IC title with AJ Lee. Like I'm not really interested in the matches. I'm not. I'm more interested on where this goes after AJ Lee. And I'm
I am.
already turned off by her like part time schedule.
But your favorite wrestler is Roman Reigns. Is he not?
Sir, is AJ Lee on the level of what Roman Reigns does when he shows up?
I'm just that.
Makes
I'm
sense of
just
that.
saying.
Makes sense of that though.
I'm
Like
just saying.
Roman shows up and it's a fucking movie every fucking time. AJ Lee shows up and I'm falling asleep during promos.
I'm
So it's
just
not the
saying.
same thing. It's not the same thing.
I um I am interested, I guess, on a personal level. Like there are obviously a number of people on the roster that AJ Lee is very significant to them in their career, and I would really like to see each of them have their opportunity to have their match with her. So that's Lyra, it's Bailey, it's
Roxanne.
Roxanne. Um, so I'm really happy for her to have the belt for this next little stretch, for her to be able to do that. And we can talk about it in a second when we get to the WrestleMania stuff. I don't. Uh, I'm feeling a little stuck with with her WrestleMania match now, because I don't really like, for as excellent as Becky was with her run with the belt, I don't really have interest in giving her back the belt again.
But that's the thing. That's why I'm not really digging this shit, because I feel like this match at Mania, because it's not gonna be like a main event or a co-main event, and it's probably not opening the show. It's probably gonna be in the middle somewhere. So like, it
Yeah.
doesn't need the IC title to me. Like, it's gonna be more interesting if somebody like Lyra, if somebody like Io, if somebody like Raquel walks
Oh,
into
I see.
Mania with the title.
So you're saying to do like what they just did in the next segment, actually, with the other IC belt.
I mean, not necessarily exactly like that, because I don't need my man. You're cursed. I don't need
Well,
that to
not.
happen. But
Yeah.
something like that should happen, and it doesn't necessarily need to be like some fuckery either. Like, a lot of these women in this list are reasonable to beat AJ Lee. Like, she's not like some like active wrestler. Like, she literally talks about, oh, I'm rusty. I haven't had a singles match. It's in the third. So like, the storyline is already there for her to lose to one of these people if it happens that way.
Yeah.
Even if she was
That's
the beat,
interesting.
even if she was the beat, and then she said she wants to be a fighting champion. She doesn't want to wait till Mania. So what if this happens? We get this match over with, and then we squeeze in another title match that ends up being like Roxanne or something like that. Like, any of these opportunities,
Yeah.
I can see her losing this, and it just being about the Becky and AJ Lee beef at Mania. That's all it is, and a closing the door of the beef, because they won't go past this. And you're right, Becky
I
Lynch
would actually
doesn't need the
like that
title back.
more.
And you're right, Becky
Yeah.
Lynch doesn't need the title back, because then where do they go from there? There's some face that you don't give a fuck about having it, because Lyra had it already. Bailey, I don't really. WWE don't know what to do with Bailey, so they're gonna flop an IC title run for her. They're gonna flop the fuck out of that. Don't do it. Io would be the next most interesting thing. That's a face. So if Becky was gonna go walk into WrestleMania and was gonna win it, that's who needs to beat her, is Io. But does Io really belong in the IC title picture? I mean, for now,
Not
yeah. For
not
now,
particularly, but she could.
while we still have Stephanie and Liv that we're waiting for, she can be in the IC title picture while that's going on. So I'm not, like I said, I'm not gonna lie. I would love for AJ to drop this belt before Mania.
I actually like now that you described it that way, I actually do think that I would, because my thought was starting to go like, do we like would we be able to potentially add a third person to that match so that um
See, that's
so
over
that so
convoluting their beef.
so so that Becky didn't need to take the belt back. But yeah, if
That's
AJ just
over
loses,
convoluting their
or
beef.
if if AJ just loses it to someone else, then she can still have whatever match with Becky and not have to worry about it anymore.
Like, think about this. She drops that title. I can see Ivy having that title and making sense. I can see Asuka having that title and then dropping it to Kyrie Sane at Mania. I can see.
I don't think there's room on the card for that.
You don't think Asuka and Kyrie probably make Mania? They probably make Mania, bro. We don't even have a full card. We're barely any idea. We literally have 4 matches right now, and we don't know what else is going on. We have no guarantees after that.
Brother, I got a whole list
That
on the
you
notes
made
app
up. That you made
right in
up.
front of you.
That you made up.
Sure,
That's literally
that I made
it.
up, but there's a
until
lot of people to fit.
yeah, there is a lot of people to fit, and there's gonna be a lot of people who don't make it. Like my boy LA Knight might not be at WrestleMania this year. Like there's a big chance that doesn't happen, and we're sitting here talking about Brock Lesnar matches for LA Knight. So these are all just possibilities. So Oscar, think about it. If they start doing the Oscar Kyrie thing, one, it's not gonna last long. This is not about to be like a 3-month feud that goes on. And the closest timetable where it makes sense, what's after Mania?
Clash.
So we wait till Clash to do Oscar Kyrie.
For as much as I would like it, I don't have faith that they're even gonna give them the match that they
The
should.
only thing that I can other see Asuka and Kyrie doing during Mania is if there's like some crazy women's like multi tag match going on. That's the only other thing that I can see. Multi tag match for the women's title, and the Kabuki Warriors are somehow in there. That's it. That's the only other thing that they
Yeah.
can do. And I feel like Asuka, especially her being like an international star, because she's Japanese, they're gonna want to put her on the card in some way, shape, or form. Getting those international eyes on WWE. It's almost like when Yao Ming was in the NBA. They love Yao Ming because he brings in a whole nation of viewers and shit like that. Not to say her impact is that big. I'm not saying that at all. So I think their storyline, AJ Lee, is gonna be. I think that's gonna be boring. I think they've done all they can do that's really actually interesting with that. Like, just another regular match. Like, is this gonna be
with
with Becky?
with her and Becky,
Yeah, I feel like there needs to be some kind of like
I would
stipulation or
imagine
something.
that there has to be a stip. Yeah.
Yeah, because like this is kind of a stale beef. Not gonna lie to you. Do you have any other thoughts on that?
No, sir.
All right, so to go on to our debut wrestler, to go back to him, we get a segment with Danhausen making some demand housings to Adam Pierce. I mean, cold Steve Austin. But
Mm-hmm.
you know what made me chuckle about that is because they literally stole R-Truth's DX gimmick with Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano and instantly gave it to Danhausen and was like, yeah, cold Steve Austin, which
Yeah.
made me giggle. And then his demands were actually kind of funny. This dude said, I want immediately to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. I'm like, what? That's an interesting one. He's walking around with a jar of teeth. Like, he gave Michael Cole a jar of teeth, and he still has a jar of teeth with him. I never noticed that his little things on his shirt are teeth and shit like that until then. But then Adam Pierce, in a cheesy Adam Pierce fashion, sees the Judgment Day walking by and just for some reason figures that let me throw Danhausen on the Judgment Day. Like they want to talk to him. And Danhausen
He was just like, I need to get out of this conversation.
yeah,
They were
but
just people
they
that
just
walked
happen to
by.
be there. I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he's eventually going for the title at some point. Danhausen, because he
What
showed interest.
title?
He showed interest in the IC title. He literally did
Oh,
it.
bro.
What are you rolling your eyes at? You haven't even seen this dude past the fucking one segment, and you're already rolling your eyes. That's a mid Carter, bro. Like, come on, bro. Like, give the dude a chance. You haven't even seen him wrestle. You haven't even seen the dude wrestle. But he literally, I'm not gonna lie, he had me chuckling through that when he was like, hello, Finn. Hello, Dom. Hello. I don't know. I think he's gonna be a good little gimmick, but it sounds like you're not really entertained by any of this already. So, like, you can give your
No,
thoughts on
I
Danhausen.
no, I I liked the like backstage segment. Like if he's just gonna be be doing like little backstage like our true style stuff, then I feel totally
So
fine
you're
with
nixing him
that.
from ring work without even like actually seeing him in the ring.
I mean, I like haven't seen full matches. I mean, like if
But
he's
you're
a
kind of
better
like saying that, like, as
wrestler,
long as he's just doing backstage segments, you're fine with him existing. But like, if he ever, it kind of sounds like you're saying if he gets in the ring, you're not like trying to see this without knowing what he looks like in the ring.
I'm saying I'm not particularly excited. If he gets in the ring and then I like it, then great. It'll be a happy surprise.
I think he's going to be a fun guy, and I think he's going to be very much more versatile than a lot of people expect him to be. Just because he's a good plug and play thing where you don't necessarily need to use him for serious feuds, and he'll be good to like do things like this, get people off of titles and stuff like that with the curses and shit. And I had this idea earlier that I thought of, and I was like, imagine if he curses people and they lose, but when he curses people like on his level, like our truth and shit like that, it has the opposite effect, and they like win things when he curses them, and it aggravates him because he's like, "Wait, I cursed this dude. How did he just fucking win this match?" So, because I can see our truth and him having a really good exchange too. Like,
Probably.
imagine him and be like, "Oh, hello, our truth," and he's like, "Hey, Sting, what's up? What you doing here?" And he's like, "I'm Danhausen." He's like, okay, Sting, like whatever you say,
Yeah.
and he curses him, and then the next thing you know, he goes out and wins like the IC title or something. You're just like, what? And maybe it happens for Tozawa and like fucking Otis, and they win the tag titles or something, all because he cursed them and it went the other way because they stink. So it reverses the effect. So
Yeah, they could do that.
there could be fun with Danhausen. There could be a lot good. But we don't got to stay here anymore because obviously Dom loses the title later on because of Danhausen, and it really wasn't even because of Danhausen. It's more because like Finn is, being a goody goody right now and wouldn't let JD interfere. But I guess that's the effects of the curse. So keep cursing people, Danhausen. Do you have anything to put in on the Dom match? Because it was a good match. I don't really have much to say about it other than a good, entertaining match. And good for Penta because
No,
he's been entertaining and a
just
workhorse.
yeah, just that I really enjoyed that match from an in ring perspective. I'm really happy to give Penta an opportunity with the belt, and I really like the character work and the story that's going on with Finn right now, and so I hope that they continue to progress the story. With him eventually leaving the group because
Yeah, like how much
I do
longer do we
feel
got, right?
I I do feel like it's worth giving him another real chance to be a solo act like as a face. So I will be looking forward to that actually.
To go back to what I said earlier about I think Raquel is plotting, because earlier at some point in this night they showed them all together, and Liv speaks to Raquel about her shot for the IC title, and was like, "Yeah, that'd be great. Then we have all the gold, this, that, and the third." And Raquel's like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, I love this." And something about it is like, "Yo, I think Raquel's plotting, and if they're gonna break up the Judgment Day, if Finn's on his way out, the next perfect thing to do is to break up the women too." And Raquel plotting on Liv works. So because realistically, Raquel owes Liv. There, she's got a big IOU with Liv, honestly. Over, especially just over these last this last month and a half. She cost her like 2 or 3 opportunities already. So I can see that being the way that they slowly, well, maybe not slowly, but break up the Judgment Day. Is Finn kind of like gets kicked out and Raquel basically just turns on Liv at some point. She might even cost her the title match, honestly. So don't know.
Yeah, that's certainly a natural first feud for them, assuming that Liv gets the belt back.
I'm not gonna lie. I kind of want Liv to win the title, but if Raquel wants to, mess her up to put over Stephanie at Romania, I'm not mad at that either. Anything to get Judgment Day deceased. I'm not gonna lie. Anything, please do anything. You could do a bad storyline, and as long as Judgment Day breaks up, I'll be okay with it. like you could just show me them at a picnic, and they'd have an argument, and they just decide to go their separate ways, and I will be totally fine with that. Just don't off screen them like Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. Just don't do that. Um, Next on the list, Jimmy versus Austin, which I feel like there's not much to talk about other than Jay Uso returning super fast. Man has Wolverine slash Superman regenerative powers. The way he got effed up on Friday, um, got put on a stretcher and is already up and mobile. He has crutches, doesn't even need the crutches. like Jay Uso doing Jay
Yeah,
Uso things.
yeah, he doesn't particularly sell injuries,
Well,
just
I
in
mean,
general.
with that storyline, like what they just gave him, I don't know how you really sell the
However,
injury because you got to go in there and be aggressive with the crutches that you're supposedly walking on. But whatever. And he got things slammed on him, so I don't even know why he needs crutches for that. Like, did you break your ankle? like, I don't know. Uh, One thing that I am actually happy happened: the Rio breakup. I am so happy that
you're
flirty.
happy that it
I
happened?
am so happy that flirty ass shit is done, bro. Like, am I happy that the tag team is up? No, I like the tag team. But for what's going on in WWE, it's the right time to do it. One, because remember I said it recently. I was like, with the Bella Twins coming back, it's the opportunity to get at least one or two of these tag teams back in the singles division, and that's exactly what they did with this. It's got Io back in the singles division and Rhea back in the singles division, and they moved Rhea's ass over to SmackDown. So I'm totally fine with that. And if this is the last that I see of their flirty ass interactions for a while, I'm not mad. I am not mad. Um, what's your thoughts on that?
I think this was like a like good narrative like stopping point for them. Um it sounds like I enjoyed their general interactions a bit more than you did. But I think
Bro, they had a real breakup. Like they literally had a segment that was like they were breaking up, and not because they were like beefing, but they were like just because there's opportunities that I have to go explore without you, Io. I love you. You've done so much for me. You're so impactful in my life. I don't know what I can do without you. Like, bro, y'all, not, y'all a couple?
well,
like I'm not digging that angle at all. I haven't been digging that angle. This whole like almost a couple angle, the holding and the coddling and all this stuff. It kind of got aggravating for me, man. But it was a
uh
good tag title run. They gave the fans what they wanted because we obviously wanted this. And this didn't need to be like a year-long thing. And they looked good while they had the titles. So, and they lost it to the
yeah.
right, and they lost it to the right people.
And I think this leaves it in a place where the next time that they do have a match together, like this is a story and a relationship that really can like main event like one of the bigger shows of the year. Like this could be like the night one main event of SummerSlam or of WrestleMania next
If
year.
they do Evolution again, this will be the main event.
Yeah.
Unless Bianca's back in time and Jade's big enough at that time. Because I think because they didn't get to do it they're not getting to do it here at Mania. If Evolution comes by and they're both available and in good enough points where like people are interested in that still, I can see Bianca Jade main eventing Evolution if it happens again over Rhea Io, if any of that even happens at all. But you're right. I do feel like it sets up a good match for them when they do get back to having a match, which will eventually happen. And maybe this is the crown jewel angle. Maybe Io eventually gets her hands back on the the world's title, and Rhea
Yeah.
gets her hands on the WWE title, and they meet at crown jewel at some point. And I'm not gonna lie to you though, but because they're basically just setting up the Rhea finally win story. That's all they're doing because she's lost to Io over and over again. So that's
And that's a story that's worth telling. Like
yeah,
I think that's really valuable.
yeah. But that's kind of why I was like just over the whole like overly kissing ass angle. Like, oh my god, you're so good, and I love you, and you're the one person who like give me a push, and man, huggy, huggy, huggy. Because like I'm like, bro, eventually y'all just gonna have to go bang it out and shit like that. Like whatever. But I guess so. We talked Roman Punk already, so that's probably the last thing for that show. Honestly, is there anything else you could think of that actually like means something?
Nope.
Cool. So WrestleMania picture so far, we got Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Liv Morgan, Stephanie Vaquer, Jade Cargill, Rhea Ripley, and these are the only confirmed matches as of right now.
Mhm.
Technically, Randy Drew is a confirmed match, and but we also have to see what happens Friday. Um, what do you think happens Friday?
So there to me there are clearly two options.
Yes,
This is either
yes,
this
I
is
agree.
either
There's two options for sure.
a fatal four way
No, no.
or
How do
it's
we get there? Like that's what I want to know. I want to see if you have the same idea that I have.
okay, either Jacob interferes and just like and just disqualifies the match so that there's no title change because he's like, you just told me that I have Drew. There's no way in hell Cody should have a match before me when you just told me that I have Drew. So they just continue that, and then not this Friday, but over the next couple of weeks, Nick Aldis just says, "Fine, it's the four of you," or it's likely Jacob costing Drew, and Cody wins, and the WrestleMania match is Cody and Randy. Is Cody and Randy, and then I would imagine that it was Jacob and Drew in a separate match. I know there's been a lot of conversation over the past couple of days about Drew and Nick Aldis. While I would like that match, I think
That's not
demoting Drew
happening.
that much at WrestleMania is like really disrespectful.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Um,
I
yeah,
basically agree with you. I kind of feel like the writing's on the wall. I feel like the fatal four way can go a couple different ways, but still get to the fatal four way. Um, Jacob can interfere and cost Drew the match, and it turns into a fatal four way. Jacob can interfere and just DQ the match, and Drew's gonna be happy about it. But Nick Aldis is just gonna be like, "Hey, because another interference happened, fatal four way at Mania, so we can settle it once and for all." Um,
yeah.
but the other angle is what you said, which I really don't. It's bad because like we wanted the Cody Randy match, but I don't want it at the
I st-
expense of
I
Drew.
still want it.
Yeah, I don't want it at the expense of Drew though. like,
I don't I don't either, and I know this might feel surprising
excuse me.
because Drew because of how how hard I've gone for for Drew, and I do like if he does get taken out of the championship match, like I'm genuinely going to be really sad and disappointed for him, like even if he does end up having a
He
match with
deserves that
Jacob,
shit
which
way more
I
than
think
Cody
would be
does.
good. Um, Agree, but I guess my thought process is not necessarily deserve. It's like I'm trying like during this, like, I'm trying to figure out like what they're actually going to do, more than like what I think people deserve, to try to like set my own expectations for what's gonna happen. Um,
Like I know they have
if
to
I
implement Cody because he's the poster boy right now.
if
Or
I if I had to guess which way it's gonna go, I would guess Drew's out.
like think about this. We literally fought for Cody not to get fucked over a couple years ago, just for them to fuck over somebody else for Cody. Like it would literally be stupid as fuck for them to do that. And honestly, like I said, I get he's the poster boy for WWE right now. But I'm not gonna lie I feel like to the fans, if you just remove Drew from this equation and like take the belt off of him prior to Mania and don't even let him go into the Mania as a champion, that's gonna put a sour taste in a lot of people's mouths. And it's not even just gonna be about the WWE. It's gonna be toward Cody also. Like if you want to give him that heat of like Super Cena when everyone's like, oh, it's just all Cena and everything, then I guess that's what you do here. But like, do you really want to do that with this guy who's not even really solidified like that yet? Like, yeah, he's the poster boy right now, but like Cody's not solidified. Like I feel like how I said the fans can turn on Cody in this situation if Drew gets fucked over. That's
Yeah.
realistic. Like that's realistic as fuck that they can just not fuck with Cody no more after this. Because this is gonna be a pandering looked at like pandering. This is gonna be looked at like the golden boy. This is gonna be looked at like forcing Cody down our throat. And we all know like he's the poster boy, but Drew has been grinding. Drew has been the one making everything fucking look good for like 2-3 years. The only really solid feud that Cody has had is Roman, and he's had Kevin Owens. I've enjoyed way more of what Drew McIntyre has been doing over the last couple years than what Cody's been doing. So they really should like if they're considering cutting Drew from this, they should really reconsider that. If they're considering that, they should really just get that out their heads because just putting him in a one-on-one match with the Samoan Werewolf really is not the play. It's fucking disrespectful,
You are
honestly.
preaching to the choir
Disrespectful as fuck,
as
honestly.
as far as Drew's work. And I actually I don't know, like I feel like if you would have told like I feel like when I'm given this information, I would have expected myself to be more upset
But we know
like
WWE. like
at the idea of them taking Drew out. But I don't know, like I just yeah, like I guess I know WWE and like I know like I can't that like I can't really be that surprised with them going back to Cody and like especially because it would be setting up a match that we as fans have been begging for 2 years now.
yeah, but it goes back to like what I said. It's like you can't fuck over Drew and just think we're not gonna notice that you fucked over Drew and think nothing of it. Like it's not gonna go that way. And it's the Cena thing, bro. Like I don't know if somebody who's not as big as Cena realistically can survive the shit that Cena went through in those years where people were like disliking him because everything was about Cena and they were just forcing Cena down your throat. So I don't think Cody survives that if the fans dislike him and all that stuff because I don't think he's cool enough to overcome that shit like Cena was. Like there's
Yeah.
enough that we look at and we critique Cody for. Not to say we dislike Cody, but there's enough that we critique Cody for right now that like are like actual blemishes on what he does. They're not just like, oh well, WWE's forcing him. Like no, there's just things that we just think Cody's lame for sometimes. like
I think I think if it's Cody and Randy one on one, for it to be successful after the match, either Cody wins by fully turning heel or Randy
Randy
wins.
wins.
If
Yep.
if it's if it if it's just Cody babyface wins and beats Randy, then I think that's like largely rejected.
Yeah, but like imagine this if we come to find out that Randy Orton has been snaking in the background and some of these people getting beat up are really Randy beating them up. Like he's now the heel and you can't do that with Cody no more. So they can't even think about doing that. Like they literally have to keep Randy Orton as the cleanest face you can possibly keep him and not even hint at a heel turn from Randy Orton. They can't be talking about no voices in my head. You can't be lining up punk kicks or nothing like that if you're going to make Cody the heel in this scenario honestly. So and I mean that can work, but is it the ideal? No. It
I think it
stinks.
would be a turn that happened like during the match.
This is the equivalent to Roman Reigns and The Rock almost happening a couple years ago, bro. Like, yes, this is a match we want, but not like this. So it is crazy that
I
WWE's kind of putting themselves in this boat again.
I I understand the comparison. I don't feel nearly as strongly
No,
about
I
this
don't
than I
feel
did
as
about
strongly
that.
either, but it's like basically them putting themselves in the same boat. That they're gonna fuck over somebody. Because remember, they fucked over Cody, like I said, and they're gonna fuck over Drew if they do this. So,
Yeah.
for the sake of Mania, when the bigger match realistically is the 4 way.
They were also trying to pull something with The Rock that just literally broke the logic of how WWE works of taking away the match from the person that literally won the Royal Rumble. This would be like having Randy win the chamber and then take Randy out of the match.
Due to injury or something. Yeah, yeah, that also checks out. Um, because realistically, I think the Fatal 4 way is the way to go. It sucks that I'm saying that about the Cody Randy match because I wanted to, but realistically, it's the way to go because you can protect Drew and you can protect Cody in that match if you want Randy to win. If the goal is to get Randy that next title so he can break Triple H's record and be one or whatever it is behind Cena, you let Randy win, and you've already nerfed this dude in the last couple months. You let him pin Jacob Fatu. So that's how I can. That's how I would prefer that matchup to go. It'd be Cody, Drew, Jacob, Randy. Randy pins Jacob, whichever way it goes. It doesn't even have to be an RKO. It could be stealing somebody else's pin, and I'll be fine with that
If
that way.
they if they do the four-way, I would actually advocate for strongly for Randy pinning Cody because then that gives more reason for when their eventual like one-on-one for the championship did happen.
It adds fuel to the fire, but you know WWE likes to protect their big guys. So I can definitely see them feeding Jacob Fatu to the sawmill for that one.
Yes, but I think I'm trying to think of it in a way of like they clearly like with their biggest shows like have an intention of trying to end the nights on some type of like oh my god moment and like I don't like Randy winning the title again by pinning Jacob is like a like yay Randy won where like I don't know I think narratively like it would be more like a, oh my god kind of thing like if Randy did it to Cody but
I mean, you're kind of painting it as like it's a lackluster finish to do it that way, and I don't really think so because you can just get into one of those really chaotic endings where everything is just going crazy, kind of like the EC Chamber ending that was pretty fucking chaotic and had a really sweet ending. You could just give us that again, honestly, and that would work for WrestleMania because it's a fatal 4 way between four of the biggest dudes in the company. So I can see it going a lot of different ways. But let's move on. Let's breeze through the rest of this stuff because at this point now we're just talking about hypothetical matches. And I don't
yeah.
really want to dibble dabble too long. So we obviously have said Cody, Randy, Jacob, Drew. There's also Cody, Randy solo that can happen. Drew and Jacob solo that can happen. Please don't. Um I think the ones that you put up here that I'm the most interested. So what we spoke about earlier, Brock Lesnar. You have Obafemi up here, and we have spoke about it. And I'm also in the boat that that needs to happen. Oba versus Brock. I'm not sure that happens at Mania. I don't think that happens at Mania. They
I'm
have
not
time.
sure. I'm not sure it happens either, but I also feel like um, if um, if Oba's not going over, then don't do it.
I think if they did Brock Oba, they are going to put him over. But the other reason why I feel this way is because Oba got really like a, he became really like the shiny new golden toy because Brock announced the open challenge. If they're leaning towards Seth or LA Knight, they don't even need the open challenge for that. So like, what's the point of the open challenge anymore? And then if there's no open need for the open challenge, how do you get Oba in there for WrestleMania? When LA Knight or Seth Rollins probably is the better match for Brock Lesnar at Mania. So because they're all
I
entangled
feel
with the
like
Vision, and Brock is like an unofficial Vision member.
don't you feel like though if they were 100% confident of it being Brock and Oba that they wouldn't have presented it as an open challenge and it would have just been Oba confronting him because of the Rumble?
No, because Oba is over here in this Rusev feud right now, and you can just move into a good story. You don't even need a storyline to do Oba and Brock if you're just doing an open challenge. He just shows up at Mania, and then and what's the crowd gonna do? They're gonna go nuts. They're gonna chant Oba's name, and then you get a banger match. And do you complain after? Fuck no. There was just no build up. And Brock ain't about to be a main event, do you? So you don't need crazy buildup. And if they're positioning it as an open challenge, there's no buildup. Like so,
Hmm.
like think about it. If you position it as an open challenge and anybody comes out, where's the buildup? Brock ain't even.
Yeah,
Brock is also a part timer, so he ain't even there every week to actually have a storyline built up for this.
yeah. I mean, they did take the the time to show however many dates he's gonna be doing
And Seth Rollins and LA
before
Knight
Mania, but
And Seth Rollins and LA Knight definitely aren't popping up on an open challenge shit for Brock Lesnar. So, like, they're going to confront him and make it a match at Mania if it's one of those two.
yeah, I don't know. I actually feel after Monday's show, I feel like it's actually more likely that it's not Oba than it is right
Yeah,
now.
I feel the same way too because they just, those two motherfuckers just did Paul Heyman dirty. And even though it annoys me when he does it, Paul Heyman, when he ain't with the Vision, comes out with Brock Lesnar. So Brock is going to feel the way that these dudes just did something to his mans.
Yeah,
So there is no need for the open challenge if it's going to go down this route. The only need for the open challenge is if you're going to do Oba. And I think they announced the open challenge before they knew they were doing the Seth Rollins thing 100%. I think the Seth Rollins thing coming back was probably like, yo, can we? I'll let you know in like a couple days. And they were like, okay, cool. So until you do that, we're gonna give ourselves a parachute and position Brock with an open challenge. Just in case you're not good to go for Mania, just in case we
yeah.
decide to backpedal on LA Knight if you're not good to go. So they gave themselves a safety net. So I don't think
I feel
Obafemi
like
gets it, and I don't even know where Obafemi fits into WrestleMania after that. So he might not even be there.
I don't. Yeah, I would guess if he doesn't face Brock, I would guess that he probably doesn't have a match, which would be sad.
Unless you just draw the Rusev thing out to Mania, because I mean we enjoyed Rusev versus Sheamus because they put on those aggressive ass matches,
Mm,
and imagine the aggressive ass match they can put on, and it's gonna be in the middle of Mania. Like it doesn't need to be a fucking slobber knocker 10 out of 10 match if it's in the middle of Mania. Like sure, you want an Oba match to be as good as possible, but like getting Oba on the card is better than Oba not being on the card.
Yeah, I don't know if I mean, I I would like him to be on the card and like
Yeah,
relatively any way possible.
agreed. I would like him to be on the card, but it's probably not gonna be Brock Lesnar. I see you got EO. What you have here,
I
Julia is
feel
the more
like
likely option. But that means she has to go to SmackDown just to go get put right
I
back next
thought
to her
that,
buddy.
but then she just said that she's staying on Raw,
Yeah,
which
I
is why
know.
I thought Asuka first.
I think Asuka is going to be doing Kyrie. I don't think they're going to throw that on a Monday. I don't think they're going to throw that as some lesser. Actually, maybe you're right. Maybe you are right. Maybe they do Io Asuka and Kyrie
But
cost
then
Asuka.
what is EO doing? I feel I could be wrong. I feel like EO's at a star level where she's not gonna not have a match.
Yeah, I agree with you. Because I'm trying to think, because that's why I'm like trying to make this work. Because I'm like, where does she fit without this? Um, Io v Asuka, Kyrie cost her the match, and that's the last time she gets to snap on Kyrie is because Kyrie's like, no, we're not doing this anymore. And then you lead
Yeah,
into the next pay per
that's what I
view
was saying before.
with the
Yeah,
Kyrie match. I can see that now because we just nixed out Julia. I think my argument earlier was because my brain also thought Julia is a good entertaining match. But then that just moves her right back next to Rhea Ripley again, and I'm pretty sure they don't want to do that because they're gonna need some big stars over there for Stephanie at some point. Um,
yeah.
I
I
feel
don't know
like
what Gunther's doing. I have no idea what
I think
Gunther's
that's
doing.
actually what you have here, Gunther versus Ray. I think is actually what's happening. I think that's actually what's happening. Um, and I don't necessarily think it's a retirement match. I think that's one of those matches that sets the course for Ray's retirement. Because I think Dom is still going to retire his dad, which really doesn't make any sense. But like, I feel like it's only proper to have Dom actually retire his dad, bro. Like, it doesn't really.
Yeah, yeah,
Gunther don't get nothing from doing this to Ray. Like, I feel like it's more effective for him to shake Ray's confidence, where Ray is like, "Should I even be here anymore?" Like,
yeah.
so I can see that being a thing. The Charlexa, the Bellas, Lash, Bailey, Lyra. I agree that they're
There
all
can
going
be
to be in a
more
match.
to that. That was like
Yes,
that. There's gonna be some or I assume, or I
if
would like to hope that there's going to be some multi team women's tag match.
ew, I'm looking at this other one, Usos and LA Knight versus Division Plus One. I don't like that one at
That was
all.
me trying. I was like, how do I fix? Like, how do I? Not how do I fix this because I personally
Seth
don't
versus
feel like this
Logan,
needs.
yuck. Like I get that it's out there. Like I feel like they're setting it up for another safety net. I think the Logan Paul thing at UC is just setting up the safety net in case they can't do Brock Seth and they can't do Brock Seth Braun. Then they will do Logan and Seth if that's the case. So like that's like the
Yeah,
third option type shit.
I think I think Breaker for Seth would clearly be the preference, but we
But
don't
we don't
know if
know.
he's going to be
And
healthy.
that's why I said Braun Breaker is like the biggest piece to the puzzle right now. If he's healthy, shifts so much shit. If he's not healthy, shifts so much shit in a different direction. Um,
Yeah.
you're almost there with the Uso match because it's the Usos versus Division. It's literally just going to be all Logan and Austin versus Jay and Jin, and Division are probably going to win because it's the only way. Because if Braun ain't back and Bronson's going to be gone for some time, it's the only way to salvage this group is by putting the tag titles on them. So having Division plus one, that's why I'm like, ew, I don't like that Division plus one and
Well, that
using LA Knight.
I put that because that was me trying to squeeze LA Knight. If it's just that, then
I
LA Knight doesn't
appreciate you.
have a
I
match.
appreciate you trying to squeeze LA Knight, but I think I can see him more in like a IC title, like Fatal Four Way or some shit like that, just to force him in there. Because I think they're gonna slowly remove him from this. If it's not gonna be if it's not gonna be LA Knight and Brock Lesnar, he's gonna get thrown in the IC title picture because where's there space for him to main event anymore at that
And
point?
I don't even have that on the card right now.
The IC, yeah,
Which
I know, but I can see it. I can see it. As of right now, you have a total of 15 matches here, which is one more than what we
Right,
probably will be getting.
which is too many by itself.
But some of these probably don't happen. I'm trying to look. Like Brock Lesnar and Oba might not happen. So that's like, well, I think that's like high chance not happening now, like 90% chance not happening now. So you can basically kind of nix that one. They can't not have Gunther on the card. Carmelo and Ilya is like a banger match. I can see that missing Mania though, realistically. Like I'm sitting here picturing the intros and I'm like, I just don't see Mania intros from these guys yet. Not yet, at least. Um
Okay, well
the
that
El
would then
Grandes are
currently
happening.
be
The El Grandes are happening.
that would then currently not have the men's US or IC title
No, but think about it.
on the show.
We have 15 here, and I just said Brock is gone, and so that brings it to
Yeah,
14, and then
but yeah, but
Carmelo
Brock's
Ilya.
having a match though.
Yes, but that's probably also going to take away from your Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul idea. Also, so that gets condensed into Brock Lesnar. So that's 3 matches going off of 15, brings you back down to like 12, 13 matches. That gives you space for your IC title and your United States title if you want it. If you
That
get
would
it.
hold on. Here, look. That would take
Yep.
that would take one. So then
And then
that's
get rid of the other one. And then if you
this.
take away Carmelo, because like I said, Carmelo might not even be there. So you have 2, 3 spots available. The IC title can easily get up there because a fatal 4-way with Penta is way
This
more
would be
entertaining.
14. This, this is full currently.
Yeah, and I just said remove Carmelo Ilya because honestly, a Penta fatal triple threat or fatal 4-way is more interesting than that. Like, there's no necessary reason to have like realistically, I think Penta is getting signed up for WrestleMania over Carmelo Hayes. I like Carmelo and I like what he's doing right now, but neither of those two guys are probably more popular than Penta right now. So to leave Penta off and have Carmelo and Ilya up there with a kind of meaningless match, realistically, I don't really see that. Especially if they're gonna somehow try to force LA Knight into the equation if they don't have nothing for him. Penta definitely fits that role. He's already been the United States champion, so to be another mid card champion works for LA Knight. He was fine as United States champion.
Yeah.
So I can see that. Not to say that you're incorrect in your thinking, but like if I'm using some logic here on my own, I think Penta gets in there over Carmelo and Ilya, and those other things condense a match down to 1 instead of 2. Uh, and LA Knight would come off of that number 8 that you got and become the other match on the card. Tiffany, Roxanne, and Raquel. Yeah, I don't know how they get on the card. I don't, unless somehow Tiffany ends up in a tag team or they throw Raquel and Roxanne in that big clusterfuck of a women's tag match. Which
Yeah.
is possible, which is very possible. Yeah, but I really don't know how Tiffany gets in there. Who could Tiffany even face? I don't know. Who's on SmackDown that makes sense for Tiffany?
My only thought was she would have to be in whatever match EO was in. I was like, is it a like EO Julia
But we would have to
Tiffany
change her
trip?
show. We would have to move her to Raw for that.
Right, which is why I just left it once EO said she was staying on Raw.
Yeah, I think Tiffany's missing. I think Tiffany's missing Mania this year. That sucks. Um, Honestly, I'm not really mad with what that looks like right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and the Penta match. Honestly, I like
This
that
would be
card.
like
I like that card. Just put Fatal
this would
Four
be
Way. Just put
like
like Penta
Penta
LA Night. Yeah,
on
no, because I feel
LA
like that's
night
definitely. I feel like that's definitely happening. I don't know if you caught
or
the.
whatever.
I don't know if you caught it. Javon was active Monday. He was just during a commercial break. Did you
I
happen
saw
to
it.
see? And he
I saw
basically
it.
said he don't care who wins Dom or Penta, and he didn't explicitly say I'm coming for IC title, but like that's obviously I'm coming for IC title at some point, right? Like, so that even if it's just that, I'm in. I'm in if it's just that triple threat. Like, so I
Yeah.
think that's more likely a good depiction of what your WrestleMania card looks like, or at least a good start for what we got.
Yeah.
I think that was actually a constructive
I'm
conversation right there because I think we got to a good outcome right there.
I'm really hoping Braun can come back
Who else is
because
on
I would
Raw?
be I would be I would be really excited for Seth Braun.
It's like I said, man. Braun's a huge player in what happens here because, like, I will gladly change up a lot of these matches to get the Braun Breaker, Seth Rollins, and then figure everything else out. Because, like I said, if we get Braun Breaker back, Seth is facing him, and LA Knight now takes the position of Brock Lesnar's match. So,
Woohoo.
yeah, I'm not happy for that because what is going to happen? So, they can either really rock my socks with that, or they're just going to hurt my soul. Because either Brock Lesnar is just going to destroy my boy, or they're finally going to strap the rocket to my boy and he's gonna beat Brock Lesnar and wow the world. So I don't know. I see if Brock is gonna go after somebody for the Paul Heyman stuff, it's more likely to be Seth Rollins because LA Knight doesn't even put his hands on Paul Heyman, bro. Like Seth has actually physically assaulted Paul Heyman and has like threatened violence against him multiple times prior to being in the Vision. So Brock has more reason to go after Seth than he does LA Knight at this very moment. But like I said, it's like WrestleMania is really all contingent on Braun Breaker right now. But I think that about wraps it up.
Oh, actually, also, this number is assuming that the WWE Championship is a fatal four way. If it's not, then you're kicking one of these off to make room for
And
Drew
I'm
and
totally fine
Jacob.
with that. I'm totally fine with that. Depending on how Danhausen pops over this next couple of weeks, he might be in the fatal four way for the IC title. But because I'm trying to think who else could even fill that if they do make that a fatal four way. Because I think the Penta match looks better as a fatal four way than it does as a triple threat. But I don't know who fills that extra spot.
I mean, Sheamus, Rusev, Gable.
And he pulls double duty. Ooh, what am I talking about?
Oh,
What am I fucking talking about?
right.
Why would he be pulling double duty? I don't know. Maybe. I don't see Rusev or Sheamus. Sheamus hasn't even been fucking around, bro. Like, what? That'd be funny if he pops up out of nowhere just to make Mania. But we'll see. We have yip yapped. So, long video. Do you have any final thoughts on the WrestleMania card? Or we cool here? We're good to call it episode 12.
We are cool.
Man, so guys, this is the road to WrestleMania. As you can see, there is a lot to talk about. Doesn't necessarily mean everything's good and gravy and the greatest things that the WWE can be doing, but there's definitely a lot going on and a lot to be considered. And Braun Breaker, you are the X factor here of what WrestleMania actually is going to look like. You change up a lot. So let's see what happens over these next couple weeks. Thanks for joining the non-experts. Drop your opinions and let us know what you think is going to happen below. This is NeekCinco, and this is
It's E.
And we are tired. We're about to go call it a night. Thanks for joining episode 12. Like, comment, subscribe, all that internet jargon, and find us on our
Hit
other
us
social
up.
medias, man. We are on TikTok, we're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, now known as X, Facebook. Holla at us, Peace.
Peace.